Hi, welcome to Political Show, Count the Political Times. Today is the season 4 and episode 3. Today we'll be talking about the year 2020, how US politics shaped up, and the future. We will come to a conclusion whether year 2020 was good for the US politics or not. Before starting the show, I want to hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Now let's start. Now, as we all know, year 2020 for many people, it's not very impressive in the United States. COVID-19 pandemic, and of course people are stuck at their homes. They can't celebrate Christmas, and it's pretty disappointing, to be fair. But in the world of politics, it's not about the COVID-19 that made controversy. Even though that could have been the main topic, it really weren't, except for few people like Joe Biden, who is now president-elect. Now, first of all, let's start with the main facts. Now, Mitch McConnell finally have accepted that Joe Biden is now president-elect. What took him so long to accept Joe Biden as president-elect? I mean, I don't get it. Of course, he had to keep saying he wasn't to keep President Trump happy. But I guess he have all started to realize trying to keep President Trump happy will not give him another good run either. With his logical sense, after Joe Biden was confirmed by the college electorals. By the electoral was the college votes, as you all know, confirmed by that fact. But I avoided this topic on Donald Trump and his refusal to accept results for a long time because I thought it was a done deal. I mean, how can you explain a country like United States to be results to be challenged like this unless there is some issues, which there isn't. We know United States is the greatest country in the world when it comes to elections. We know how much that works out. But let's talk on the main factors. Now, President Trump, even after all this, he still refuses to accept the result. Yes, he has not accepted it. And that's a problem. Because he had to better accept it. But again, this doesn't stop Joe Biden from becoming president on the 20th of January on Inauguration Day. So it doesn't stop him. But this will hurt President Trump's legacy. And whatever achievements he did achieve will be forgotten by people for his actions he is doing right now. That's how politics works. It depends how you live as how you come. Now, one of his major factors is that there have been many election fraud. But there is no election fraud. It's not been proven. They have shown no evidence. I mean, how can you say election fraud exists when there is no fraud actually happened and there's no evidence? I don't get the logic. And also, what I don't get is why the Republican Party is so sucking up to President Trump. Isn't the Republican Party the same party who told President Richard Nixon to leave? I mean, I'm sorry, but it does seem rather petty and sad about the Republican Party's situation. Look, this is the thing. For the Democratic Party, this is a birthday gift, to be really fair, for their future political arena. Imagine 4 years from now what it would be like. Now, current pandemic. Now, people in the United States are struggling with lack of finances, lack of employment. Employment numbers are going down despite the economy growing in a certain number. Now, the main importance is the economic stimulus package. The economic stimulus package is yet to be passed through because they are still talking. Because the Republicans are more busy trying to overturn election than solving people's lives and helping them to stay on their feet and stop losing their homes or kicked out of their apartments for not paying rent, and small business losing business. And finally, there is some good news. They are now agreeing on a package. It's a very good package. It's a $900 package. But the problem is it enough? It's not quite enough actually. The package is way too small for me personally. However, in a situation like this, even a small amount of money counts for the American household to survive in the pandemic. Now, biggest topic for me is the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm not going to talk about Joe Biden's victory success because we talked about Joe Biden's victory. We talked about his future, how if the House is not a Democrat-led House, Senate or a House, how hard is it going to be for him? We talked about that. Let's not talk on that. Now, one of the major issues now there is more good news about the pandemic. There is good news, make a rather dark here into a positive here. There is vaccines. The vaccines are out in the United States. And let's hope the vaccines will help to solve and end the disastrous COVID-19 pandemic, which stops people from living their lives and ruining our futures. Now, the vaccines are out, but does that mean we are safe? Actually not. Of course, for Trump supporters, there has been no COVID-19 pandemic. They are living in a fantasy world when Fox News keep talking about election fraud. But even after the full electoral confirmation, let's hope Fox News would not, end of the day, keep spreading this stupid news and fake news. Now, fake news is a word of President Trump's infamous language and vocabulary. And of course, it's quite interesting how it works out. Now, one of the main interesting factors in 2020 we had this year was President Trump's matters of ignoring issues and his mismanagement on foreign policy. Now, foreign policy is such a crucial piece for the United States. I mean, we have to understand that. Now, we know that Israel, major Arab states, have now, and including United Arab Emirates, have signed to a deal which allows them to begin their diplomatic relations once again. It is impressive. But there is a problem. While they try to make peace between them, what's going to happen to Palestine in between? Would they be crushed as they start making peace? I mean, we know what Benjamin Netanyahu has been doing. He's not a good leader. He's a dictator. I mean, and there's another election coming in Israel right now. What is Israel doing? I mean, it's quite unbelievable, but we have to respect Israel because Israel is a long-time ally for the United States. They've got to be respected. But President Trump has no limit of showing how much love he loves his allies. He doesn't love his allies. He loves dictators. I mean, that is the thing. I mean, this is a man who this year, 2020, as we all know, but this is nothing new. This is a man who sent letters to Kim Jong-un. Some people call it a love letter some ways. Who knows? They love each other. I mean, two strong people. I almost think they're pretty similar in some areas. But of course, while diplomatic relations are in bad situation, I mean, because of President Trump's bad mismanagement of that department, the United States is out of the World Health Organization. I mean, which man does that in the middle of a pandemic? Who does? I really don't get why does he do that. I mean, what's the logic? Not only that, of course, the International Trade Commission is now under more fractured than ever been thanks to United States rather stupid actions, I would rather say. World trade is now in chaos, rather to mention. But there's one silver lighting among the chaotic time for the United States this year, 2020. That is, unlike Brexit in the UK, we have a much clearer path. We have President-elect Joe Biden. So we can say it doesn't matter how bad 2020 was, Joe Biden is taking power from 20th January next year. And the future would be brighter. There would be no question about it. But I want to talk about one more thing this year that made me feel very proud about the United States. Infamous celebrities stood up against racism. Athletes stood up against racism. And that is a sign that we, as people in the United States, are finally taking down racism. People are finally showing their voice. That is tremendously important. That is key, because racism is the biggest disease that's more dangerous than COVID-19 pandemic. Judging a person by their skin color is the worst thing you can do to a person than killing someone. It's so horrible. And let's hope the people who showed their voices can continue their fight against racism. And they've got a man in the job for that, Joe Biden. So let's hope that's the case. And of course, this year is another year where historical things happened. First ever African American vice president, of course, and major cabinet positions are filled by people you knew from the Obama administration or before. So going back to the old days, organized and a smart cabinet, not weird and not wacky, which I truly appreciate. Now I'm going to end this video, but before I end this video, I want to say this about this 2020. The United States have gone through a lot, and many people in the country from different Texas or whatever state, they suffered because of the pandemic. They have no jobs, they are struggling, unemployment, they can't spend Christmas, they can't see their family members, they can't even spend Thanksgiving. Let's hope next year is a good year where we can finally see our families, we can finally celebrate our festivals, and finally, maybe, if possible, maybe we can do some good old-fashioned, shopping again in a crowd again. And that's what I have to say. And before that, I'll say, so thank you very much for joining me on the show. This is my last episode on Kavindu Politics for this year, 2020 actually. So, this is what I can say over this year. And I will rejoin you from January 1st of next year. So what can I say? I really am. I had a wonderful, for me personally, doing this show has never felt been better. You will join me again from next year, January 1st. So thank you very much for joining the show on this episode. Hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Thank you very much.